OK, let's return to developing news this morning that Fiji's Prime Minister, Commodore Frank Bainimarama, has just announced the country's public emergency regulations will end by the 7th of January.
For more on what the end to the regulations will mean for Fiji, we're joined by Radio Australia's Pacific correspondent Campbell Cooney. Good morning, Campbell.
Good morning.
Welcome.
To you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. What can I tell you? It's what he's been talking about doing for a good while now. They've been in place since April 2009, which was when the Constitution was basically revoked, or scrapped is a better word for it. He has been talking about doing it. He was saying that it would happen as more laws came into place, but they have just stayed on and on and on and on. It's going to be welcome news by many. By rights, it will mean that public meetings can be held. I'd be interested to see if that actually happens, though.
What other things have been prescribed or banned under these regulations?
Media censorship is certainly enacted under those. Meetings, as I mentioned there, Michael, anything over 3 people, you have to get permission to be there. Public commentary on any range of issues, religion, politics, everything. Basically, the PERs meant that they were unlawful unless you actually got permission to do them.
And has this come around from any international pressure?
Not really. Look, as you said, the pressure has been there for a long time, but they've withheld it from it. And actually, it was interesting, this morning we spoke with the daughter of Mero Samasoni. Now, she's a former Fijian politician who was arrested under the public emergency regulations on Friday for basically allegedly creating or inciting political violence. When I spoke to her on Pacific Beat on radio this morning, that it sounds like the PERs are going to come to an end. She said, yes, well, maybe if I was a cynical person, might have to do that. There's a very large press junket coming there from the US at the moment as well. Now, I don't know if I would like to be quite as cynical as that there, but it does seem to be there could be a bit of, something might be tying in with another thing there on that one.
We've seen the impact of media censorship pretty dramatically in Fiji in the last 12 months. It's pretty hard to go from what has been very much a cowed media now to them suddenly springing back to life and offering criticisms of Commodore Bainimarama.
I don't think you'll see it. Basically, the media decree, which basically was put in place in 2009, and you will remember that meant that News Limited had to sell the Fiji Times newspaper. Under that decree, it pretty well brings an end to any sort of... it's still basically outlawed. A lot of very robust commentary you're probably not going to see, because those decrees will stop that as well. And it has to be said, before the coup and even up to this scrapping of the Constitution, it was a very vibrant media scene.
And what confidence do we have that these promised free and fair elections will be free and fair?
They keep committing themselves to that, but any number of commentators will tell you that they have no confidence that the elections will be held in 2014 as promised. But he also announced there as well that this is the start of getting a constitution back in place. It's a long-worn cliche when you start talking about Fiji, but time is going to tell if they're actually serious about this making it happen.
So these emergency rules end on the 7th of January. What will Fiji look like on the 8th of January? I
don't think it's going to look much different than it does today on the 2nd of January, actually. I think that there will be probably a few meetings. There might be the odd rally that might happen, but I don't think you're going to see the robust commentary or robust criticism being made public as they say that it possibly will. It's not going to be probably that much different, which is a pity. In a way.
Well, Campbell Cooney from Radio Australia, thanks for the insights.
My pleasure.
Morning.